Greetings. Well, with Halloween fast approaching, I decided to dig down deep into the furthest depths of horror-related games. I went in search of the goriest, the scariest, the most maniacally macabre of all horror-related games. What's this crap? Yeah, that'll do. I give you Monster Party on the NES, and your suffering will be legendary.
Even in hell.
Released in 1989 for the NES, Monster Party is the story of a boy named Mark who meets a creature from another world named Bert, who looks like a giant burp. Mark apparently walks around with a giant M on his shirt. Why are you cutting back to me? Bert abducts Mark back to his homeworld to help defeat the monsters that are running rampant there. Then Bert stops the world and melts with you, and that's where the game begins. Oh, but first, be sure to select a very fine pumpkin ale. Okay, so before you get too excited, it's a baseball bat. Maybe. You go around beating up monsters for a minute until you come across a giant cactar. That's when things start getting interesting. Once you walk past this guy, the whole world around you changes, for reasons unexplained. Now we are suddenly in one of the goriest games I've ever seen on the NES. After you collect one of these power-ups that looks an awful lot like a pill, you can temporarily transform into Bert. Turning into Bert definitely has its advantages. For one thing, you can just fly at the top of the screen and avoid all the enemies, but you are eventually going to have to go back and fight the bosses. Honestly, the difficulty of the game pretty much stems from how much life do you currently have versus how long is it going to take you as Mark with the baseball bat to defeat a boss. You know, one thing I can give the game credit for though is that the levels are pretty varied, and there are different and unique enemies for each stage. Oh yeah, and for some reason Mark's shirt changes color with every level. Once you've killed all of the bosses, you'll get a key that allows you to go to the next stage. You can enter these rooms. This is where you'll encounter bosses, which sometimes is a monster, and sometimes is various fried foods. What the hell is going on here? Boss battles can be kinda dull and drawn out if you're playing as Mark. If you can manage to find a pill to turn into Bert, you can use his beam attack to make short work of them. Unless they already died waiting for you. Now, looking at the game's artwork, one of the first things that stands out is you see something that very much looks like the creature from the Black Lagoon and a Dracula. So you think to yourself, possibly, there's going to be some of the Universal monsters in this game. But you'd be wrong. The original version of this game had many references to Western horror movies and culture, which was changed for legal reasons when it actually came out. Which explains some of the stranger aspects of the game. Case in point, this giant singing flower which was originally intended as an homage to Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors. Fortunately, this game has some cheat codes. You can jump levels and start out with your life bar maxed out. Okay, so obviously my Elgato capture device is on the fritz. I mean, it's haunted! Okay, so somehow my footage has become corrupted, but I played through most of the game, and I can say, it's not great, it's not terrible. I probably would have liked it more if the gameplay was a little more varied, like, say, a few more weapons maybe, a few more power-ups. It's a solid game for the most part. As far as platformers go, it's not the best, but if you're just looking to play something horror-related this season, I definitely recommend it. You're gonna need more ale. Damn it. Piss off, Ghost! You know what? Fuck this. Let's play Castlevania. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. When a problem comes along, you must whip it. Whip it good.